Imagine arriving at the airport after a long journey, ready to see your family and sleep in your own bed, only to find yourself surrounded by nearly 50 security agents. This is exactly what happened to the former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, just yesterday at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. He was returning from Cairo, Egypt, when the atmosphere suddenly turned tense. Security men, reportedly from the Department of State Services, but acting on behalf of the ICPC, tried to take him away right there at the terminal. They did not have a warrant. They did not have a formal letter of invitation. They simply wanted him to follow them. This event has sparked a massive wave of reactions across Nigeria, but the loudest voice so far has come from the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Atiku did not just send a message or a representative. Instead, he went straight to El-Rufai's house on Thursday night to show what he called a solidarity visit. By Friday morning, today, February 13th, Atiku took to his social media to speak his mind plainly. He did not hold back. He called the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, which we all know as the ICPC, a partisan body. In simple terms, he is accusing the commission of taking sides in a political fight rather than doing its job fairly. He described the attempt to arrest El-Rufai as a national embarrassment and even went as far as calling it an attempted kidnapping by the state. Think about that for a moment. Why would a former vice president use such strong words? Why would he call a government agency partisan? To understand this, we have to look at the details of what happened at the airport. According to El-Rufai's team, the security agents were very insistent. They even managed to seize the former governor's international passport during the struggle. But El-Rufai refused to move. He told them that as a citizen and a former high-ranking official, he deserves the courtesy of a formal invitation. He wanted to know why they were coming for him now, especially since his lawyers say they had already told the authorities he would be available to meet with them on Monday, February 16th. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? If someone has already agreed to show up on Monday, why try to grab them at the airport on a Thursday night? This is the question many people are asking today. If you find this story important for the future of our country and our laws, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us keep bringing you the facts as they unfold. Now, let's look at the other side of the story to keep things balanced. We must remember that the ICPC has a duty to investigate allegations of corruption. Two of El-Rufai's close associates are already facing charges related to fraud and money laundering. In any democracy, no one is above the law, regardless of how powerful they once were. The government often argues that they must act swiftly to ensure that people do not evade justice. However, the problem here, according to Atiku and El-Rufai's legal team, is not the investigation itself, but the way it is being carried out. They are saying that the rule of law must be followed. If there is no warrant and no invitation, is it right to intercept a citizen at the airport? During his visit to El-Rufai's residence, Atiku looked quite concerned. He sat with the former governor and told him that what happened was an embarrassment to the whole of Nigerian society. Atiku said that in a country built on laws, there is no reason to treat a former minister and a former governor this way. He suggested that the authorities should have allowed him to get home first and then invited him properly. This is a very important point. It's about how our institutions treat people. If a former governor can be treated this way without a warrant, what does that mean for the average Nigerian? But there is more to this story than just an airport drama. There is a deeper political current moving underneath. Nasir El-Rufai recently left the ruling party, the APC, and joined the African Democratic Congress, which is known as the ADC. He has become a very vocal critic of the current federal government. He has been speaking out on the radio and on social media, warning that he might be targeted because of his political views. In fact, just a few days ago, he told the BBC Hausa service that he expected to be arrested soon because 4 of his associates had already been taken into custody. So, when the arrest attempt finally happened yesterday, many people saw it as a confirmation of his fears. El-Rufai himself has made a very serious allegation. He claimed that the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, is the one behind this move. He alleged that the ICPC was instructed to use the DSS to abduct him. These are heavy accusations, and so far, the Office of the National Security Advisor and the ICPC have not released an official statement to explain their side of the airport incident. This silence leaves a lot of room for speculation, which is never good for a country's peace of mind. Are we watching a legitimate anti-corruption move, or are we watching the beginning of a political crackdown as we head towards the next election cycle? This is a question that affects every Nigerian, whether you live in a big city or a small village. When our anti-corruption agencies are accused of being partisan, it makes people lose trust in the system. If people don't trust the ICPC or the EFCC, then even when they catch a real criminal, the public might think it is just politics. This is why fairness is so important. As we look at the photos shared by Atiku today, showing him and El-Rufai talking deeply in a private living room, it's clear that new political alliances are forming. Atiku even mentioned that opposition forces must come together to protect Nigeria from becoming a one-party state. This tells us that the event at the airport has actually brought some old rivals closer together. It has given them a common cause, the defense of the rule of law. Wait a moment and think about the big picture here. Our democracy is like a house. The walls of that house are the laws we all agree to follow. If the people who are supposed to protect the house start breaking the walls to get inside, will the house still be standing for our children? This is why this story matters so much. It is not just about two powerful men like Atiku and El-Rufai. It is about whether our institutions can be trusted to be fair to everyone, no matter which political party they belong to. As we wait to see if El-Rufai will indeed honor the invitation on Monday as his lawyers promised, we must keep a close eye on these developments. We must demand that our institutions operate with transparency. If the ICPC has a case, they should present it in court with evidence, following every step of the law. If they bypass the law, they give their critics the power to call them partisan. For now, Nasir El-Rufai is at home, but his international passport is still with the authorities. Atiku Abubakar has made his stance clear, standing firmly by his new ally. This weekend will likely be filled with more statements and perhaps a response from the federal government. We will be here to explain it all to you as it happens. If you found this explanation helpful and you want to stay updated on the truth behind Nigerian politics, please click that like button and subscribe. It really makes a difference. As we end today's discussion, let us reflect on one thing. Accountability is good for Nigeria. We all want a country where stolen money is returned and where leaders are held responsible for their actions. But that accountability must be built on the foundation of justice and fairness. When the process looks like a trap rather than a trial, it hurts our democracy. Let us hope for a Nigeria where the law is a shield for the innocent and a fair sword for the guilty, but never a tool for politics.